Boom. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrasslin for Life Network. Welcome to the Dirt Sheet Debate. Welcome to a beautiful Sunday. I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful weekend. Myself and that pretty face are going to run through some of the hot topics in the wrestling world, tackle some of these dirt sheet rumors and nonsense, but we're going to get into all of it here today. Make sure you get in that chat. Make sure you say hello. And remember, we do have rapid fire questions for the host at the end of the show. So get those into the chat as well. It's going to be a fun one. We got a lot to get into. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again. Like I said, folks, as always, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. I am Mr. Every Night KJ White. That is my buddy, Big Nick. I don't know. Do you do the whole shtick?
No. But I will mention that I do have my, nice, lovely pink prime drink here. So I'll be out here like skip.
Let's go. Welcome, everybody. If you haven't been to the Dirt Sheet debates before, myself and Big Nick, we go through the topics you see on the screen. We'll discuss them. Sometimes we'll debate them. Sometimes we'll agree. But we'll get through all this. You can give us your 2 cents in the chat. Don't forget, if you got any random questions, wrestling or otherwise, for us, throw them up there. We'll try and get to them by the end. But we got lots to get into. Lots happened this weekend. Lot has happened this week. So without further ado, we will get into the first topic here today.
I was going to say, speaking of a lot, so I don't know how you feel about this, but yeah, boy, howdy. Can I just say WCW of the Jacksonville Dixie has managed to outdo even Dixie Carter herself here. Managed to out Eric Bischoff, out Vince Russo here. We've got Ric Flair is now signed to a multi-year deal, which the Woo Energy drink, a lovely mushroom energy drink, by the way.
Yeah, now the
is the signature energy drink of AEW. Like tale as old as time.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Some quick notes from the official release was, they signed the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Flair's debut comes off the heels of a longtime friend, Sting's retirement. So he's basically going to work with Sting pretty much till Sting's in.
We were happy for him for one night. Then it became 3 months. We're like, okay, we can have it. Then it became now 2 years. And now he's medically cleared of, hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Nick.
I'm back. I'm good to go.
All right. And even I'm dying to have a promo off with MJF. And even MJF responds with, how about a buried alive match, Rick?
MJF being perfect MJF, Nick. And again, I think with this signing or the announcement of the signing of Ric Flair, we still, no confirmation. We know Rick wants to get in the ring. We don't know if AEW is going to allow it. His Woo drink is going to be a commentary. It's going to be highlighted. Yeah, the
Ric Flair drip, the official strain of AEW, by the way.
There you go, officially. Now, what this has caused, from my observations, is even some of the most faithful of AEW fans and YouTubers and such have kind of started turning code on this one. And we're getting older, we're signing, Big Show coming in didn't help. What are we doing here in AEW?
You have caused a fracture within your fan base. You have caused a fracture amongst your female fan base. Few and far between they were. And also, it's one of those people don't want to admit, guys like us, everything that we're saying, we're seeing the writing on the wall. Shit's not going right. Maybe pull up here. Avoid the fucking iceberg there, the fucking pilot of the Titanic there.
Yeah.
And everything of this has been foretold, and now people don't want to admit. Now we're having to admit that AEW really isn't as good as we thought it was.
Well,
It's starting to hit that iceberg.
is that the value? I mean, the iceberg analogy, and I even put out the Titanic meme of Jericho and Tony enjoying a nice trip on the Titanic for that reason, because I feel like we're navigating towards the iceberg, and a lot of people have seen it for quite a while. I even see the comment in the chat about Paul White can barely move. To me,
If he
again,
didn't look happy to be there, why should I be happy that he's there?
well, that's it. Like, I mean, what does he bring to the show? Again,
Here's the big show. Captain
he-
Insano shows no mercy.
is he a draw in 2023?
In 1993, yes. In 2023, fuck no.
So I mean, we got a lot to figure out when, and I don't think it's always been bad. I think there's been a lot of good with this company. I think a lot's been going on that, they signed some really talented people. They got a huge roster pool. But if you're gonna, you got talent like MJF going public, and we're about to talk about MJF, and MJF goes public and says, I think we got the best roster in the world. So if you're not selling tickets, if you're not selling ratings, if you're not moving the needle, then we got to blame somebody.
But you're telling me right now, like, I'll ask your opinion on this. How do you feel about the rumors of a Hulk Hogan showing up in AEW? We have people talking about Ronda Rousey. She's doing Wrestling Revolver. If she shows up in AEW, where do we feel we're going here?
I think we're going to the WWE Recycling Center. And I think that's what this is becoming very quick, is that, like, even a Ronda Rousey, I mean, to me, she didn't get over in WWE. When she was in WWE, people in AEW hated her. She was the antithesis of what they didn't want to be. And now that she's available, maybe we'll sign her and bring her in. Hulk Hogan, I mean, when he got booed just mentioning him, Sting said Hulk Hogan, and everyone was like, oh, no.
But is it so funny that literally AEW, that was supposed to be the alternative, has just turned into the antithesis of WWE at this point?
And I think that's happening is WWE's plucking away pre-prime talent. Like, going back to your pink drink, you sign it, you grab a Jade, you grab a Brian Pillman, rumors of MJF, rumors of Brock Anderson. These are all young talent that WWE's looking at, and I think they're doing the same thing they did to WCW. Take all the old guys, take Macho, take them all. We got young guys coming in, and
we'll take all your cast off and actually make them better than you ever could do.
Right. And that's what I think has been a big thing. A big thing with this company is it's becoming apparent, even to the loyalists that sometimes put on blinders, that it's not the same.
WCW. Right. Hey, Vince, I'm in the wrestling business.
But we'll just kind of continue this conversation because it ties back into what we were just rambling about.
I want you to go first here on this.
Well, we all know what a scarf wearer that you are.
I was going to say, I'll pull it out.
But I mean, I think it's really intense. As far as the negative reaction that's popping off. Now, Danny Garcia, hip thruster himself, out of left field, just says, I want a match, and they gave it to him. Joe wants a match. He doesn't get one. Other people want a match. They don't get one. It's just Daniel Garcia is going to get one. MJF's going to be on the pre-show and the main event of another pay-per-view. Is he spread too thin? Is there a lack of focus opposed to what they're trying to accomplish of, a whole bunch of interest?
Separate answers for both those. Is he spread too thin? Yes. I also think his boss is spread too thin. Is there a lack of focus? It becomes debatable because, to me, everybody, like I've said before, everybody's focus should be on the world champion. But he has the problem of being too good at everything. He's great. He's the best heel you've got, and he's the best babyface you've got right now. He has the best talent you have at this point. And that becomes the issue of, come 2024, is he still under AEW? Well, is this now just, well, I've done anything and everything I can do here, literally and figuratively?
Yeah, he might max out. And I mean, to me, it's like having a star.
No pun intended.
Right? You have a star quarterback that you also ask, to play defensive back or defensive tackle, or play wide receiver in addition to play quarterback. Like, It's almost getting impossible. And our buddy Anthony, who watched the show with me last night, literally, Jay White is supposed to be this big deal, a superstar that you signed, that now you're heading into Full Gear, and he seems like an afterthought. Mark Briscoe's gonna fight Jay White to try and get MJF's belt back, and I've never seen Mark Briscoe and MJF chit chat or like each other or be on the same page.
But this goes down into the whole thing of booking versus literally just making fantasy matches and everything. It's creative versus booking and everything, and that's what Tony Khan does. Of I'll make the greatest matches you'll ever see. You'll want to tune in just for the matches. There is fuck and all when it comes to storyline on anything, and we even talked about it when we're here for MJF versus Omega. We're like, did they forget that this man's about to pass the record for longest title reign? Like, isn't this the company that had bookkeeping and stat keeping and ratings and rankings and everything like that? And you forget that this shit happened?
Yeah. No, and I completely agree with that. Like, I mean, there seems to be no planning ahead. And to me, a great matchmaker makes matches that mean something. And you call it booker, you call it matchmaker, you call it whatever it is. But again, I think people are starting to get tired. And I think we talked about this a lot. You and I, about even your favorite show. Like, you'll watch a show, but you generally give up on a show that's purely episodic, where one episode means nothing to the other. To have that weekly buy-in is hit and miss. But when you have a show that carries you through, you got to binge watch every episode because the next thing's leading to the next thing. That's where the money is at. And you might be right. MJF might have hit a point where he's done it all in this company. And if he wants to expand, similar to Jade, he's got to move on.
Well, and that begs the question of like what we were talking about there with Ric Flair and everything like that, of have you turned enough people away, of have we gotten to that point of you only have your core audience at this point, you're not trying to develop any new audience, and that MJF has just become your fucking bastion, your beacon, your buoy for anything that's going to keep you afloat, as far as ratings, as far as drawing attention, as far as drawing eyes, respectfully. And that's not taking away from any performers, but it's to be at that level that they want to be at, of why they want to say they're knocking on WWE's door and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a fair argument at this point. I think it's very clear that there's miles apart. They're not even WCW as far as
so more likely to sign with WWE, Will Ospreay or MJF, or both. Or both.
It might be both. I mean, again, WWE, especially with it public that Triple H is the guy. Does Triple H have the ability to sit on the phone with a Will Ospreay and MJF, CM Punk, the list goes on, and convince them that this is a new WWE and you will be highlighted. We will roll out the red fucking carpet.
I have a side question that no one's entered into the CM Punk argument and everything like that. As I see, we're getting towards the very end here. If you sign an MJF, do you need to sign CM Punk?
I don't
think MJF not your 2023, your modern era version of CM Punk, of the fucking straw that stirs the drink?
Yeah, you know what? That's a very good question. I think in my head, it's almost you don't have to sign any of these guys. You don't have to sign. I mean, going through 2023 and breaking all these records and doing all the stuff they're doing, selling out everywhere they go. 2024, they're going global in a bigger way than they did in 2023. They don't have to sign anybody, but I think they might want to just because. And again, how stacked does this roster become? Let's ignore Punk, because apparently we're going to talk about Punk at the end here, because news came out today about that. But if you have Ospreay, you have MJF, you have Jade on the ranks, then you got the young talent that's already being built, the Braun Breakers of the world. Man, the future looks bright for WWE. AEW is looking old.
WCW, but 100% though, if you can snatch an MJF out of AEW, you're Shang Tsung, you're stealing their soul out of that, of you've stolen their spine.
Yeah, I mean, the reports, and I know we've hit the buzzer, but I know the reports say that, MJF has been locked up, and I felt like he had been locked up. and he was just playing with people. If not, they are in a big pickle.
Right.
But all right, without further delay, that's kind of the AEW stuff. We're going to jump into the big story from yesterday, Crown Jewel, the recap of what happened. We'll talk about some facts or some big kind of stories coming out of it. But one of the biggest
with the visual you had.
There you go. One of the biggest things I took out of yesterday was a good amount of people didn't love Crown Jewel. It fell a little flat.
Mid pay-per-view.
Is it the worst of 2023 for WWE?
But that's a fucking high bar to get hung up on.
Yeah. Not an Ivar, but a high bar.
Not an Ivar, but a high bar. Yes. 100%. Not yes and no. Like, that's the thing. Is it's so there I know there's another topic we're going to talk about here later on that I want to save part of this for. But how do you feel, I guess, with the visual we have there about Logan Paul as US champion, and how people have said Logan Paul saved Ronald Mysterious's life? He was, I can be your hero, baby.
Listen, Rey Mysterio has fallen on his face, neck, back, legs multiple times in his career.
His knees, especially his knees. We all know that video package when we were kids. Don't try this at home. His knees.
He would have survived. But again, they've heard Logan to have the wherewithal to get low and pick that man back up. I mean, again,
this man was catching a fly ball out in the outfield right there. That's all he had to do.
You're looking at a dude who's 100+ pounds, and I know Ray's not the biggest of dudes, but you go find somebody that's 125, 45 pounds and just catch him out of the air. It's not fun. So, again, I think what the biggest thing that gets overlooked with Logan is there's talent there. There is actual wrestling talent there.
Is he, and I think we both said this, I know at least I said it on our live stream, is he the best talent to transition, celebrity talent to transition to pro wrestling? Because he's the most, seems like he's going to be there week in and week out. Like, he's got an athletic built for it. He's got the personality for it. He's there. He's the Miz, just younger.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like the modern day Miz, right? Like, he's the
guy
more
athletic, but
but comes from the world that nobody really takes serious. He's got to overachieve to prove that he's worth it. And again, we understand what WWE is trying to do with putting a belt on Logan Paul. The guy is click worthy. The guy has millions of followers, millions of eyes pay attention.
Millions. And millions.
But I mean, ultimately, I believe that. I mean, Crown Jewel wasn't the best. It did have a lull to the back end of it. I do think that a bit of the problem is things became a little like, oh my God, Logan won. And then it kind of got to the point of
then we had DJ Khaled. Then we had Kyrie show up.
Yeah.
Was that the worst place to have Kyrie show up? Arguably.
Well, I've seen a lot of fans talk about, well, we shouldn't do this when we're in Saudi Arabia. We shouldn't do that. I think that's very Americanized. I think the American fans are like, well, we shouldn't do big things in other countries. We should save all the big things for us. But
so we won't react to them.
Yeah. So the American fans tend to not react nearly as intense as the international fans. And my argument is, if you're going to continue to go international, shit has to happen when you're there. When you're in Germany, when you're in Australia, shit needs to go down because you want buy-in.
Reaction for Kyrie in the building equal the big reaction on social media for it?
No, I mean, I think kind of the way it was done, I think it took people, a few people in the building to be like, who, what, why are, like, it was kind of sloppy. She came out, and then there was the weird count out, the almost count out.
But you do have the tie-in that the last time we saw Kyrie on WWE TV, she was getting taken out by Bailey. So we do have that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think I was good with it. I was pumped to see Kyrie back. Now there's rumors about Saray joining them. Is Asuka maybe going to join them? They'll try like an evil triad of talent to take on the women's division. I like it. There's potential.
Fighting demons by moonlight.
The Sky Pirates of tomorrow.
It's so funny to me that, because I even told my wife, because my wife even recognized, she's like, I told her Kyrie came back last night. She's like, oh, the Sky Pirates. And I was like, yeah. And KJ just chuckled every time I said that.
it's just it's funny to me, the Sky Pirates. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, I think that Crown Jewel was good. It wasn't great. I believe that there is some level of, responsibility to maybe make the card a little more, surprising. And I think I
It
do
was
think,
mid, but for a WWE premium live event this year, mid is better, is above average for an AEW event, if not,
yeah.
in the
Mhm.
upper echelon
And
there.
what I don't get is a lot of clips of, WWE higher ups going, this was one of our best shows ever, where we do with the other company of they'll feed you shit and tell you it's ice cream, where,
I'm gonna just say, well, it happened in Saudi Arabia, and I'm gonna leave it with saying that it happened in Saudi Arabia. So that might be why they were saying it was the greatest thing, because they wanted to get out of Saudi Arabia.
they're like, we're good, bye, thank you.
We're here, thank you. We don't need our plane delayed for unnecessary reasons.
No. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a decent show. I gave it a decent mark. I don't think it failed. But again, I mean, if you're looking at that show, that card, and you go, this was one of their worst shows, they're having a pretty good year.
Well, and even then, I think it's as much as regularly WWE has premium live events, they still do feel pulled apart and everything. Of they don't feel back to back to back or anything like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, I think the cool thing is as of tomorrow, we'll turn our attention to Survivor Series and what that means and what that.
Generals gathered in their masses.
All right. Next one, John Cena. Is he done? Is Cena
I
done?
he got decimated. He got all of the Samoan spikes, all of the Samoan rampage is taken out on him. He made good for every time he beat Uncle Umaga during this
Yeah.
whole match.
Yeah, I mean, he got taken out hard and he got annihilated, which I mean, again, I mean, I know we talked earlier about the older roster. When you bring back an old guy and you got a young up and comer in his prime, he should probably beat him. And Solo was convincing. So is there any value to John Cena at this point? John Cena comes back next week, next month. Yeah, people love him, but what?
Does it help Solo more with the dominant win, or he gets the dominant win, Cena comes back, gets a TV win on him, and then just rides off into the sunset because of Screen Actors Guild?
Maybe. I mean, again, we weren't expecting him for a long time. I think this does wonders for, it does wonders for Solo. I think part of the reason why people didn't love the show is there was a string of kind of like, the heels won in succession. And maybe if we rearranged it, it might have made it a little more palatable.
Well, yeah.
But
But
I think this is huge. I mean, Solo Sikoa goes in and lays out, annihilates John Cena.
it's a fantastic win for Solo. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head unintentionally there with John Cena of I ain't here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Mhm.
He put over Solo 100% with this. He looks like a badass. As much as we joked even when we were on the live stream for Crown Jewel of how he's calling him Taz and how he's kind of taking the piss out of him, John Cena just shows up to just shit on current wrestlers. He sat there and got his ass beat. Now, granted, the spike, delay, spike, delay, spike, rinse, repeat, like became maybe a little bit too much and a little too overdone and a little too overdrawn. But a dominant win for Solo with this, to me, does nothing but help him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see the kind of the GOAT, the Big Match John. Well, Big Match John just had a small match and it didn't go so well.
I
And
wouldn't
now
even call it a small match. I think it was like
his
up
performance
there.
was small.
Well, he sat there and took what? A choke slam and 2 tombstones from The Undertaker at WrestleMania 34. And they counted that as a streak match.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, do we see Cena just not be around? Like, are we expecting him on Friday? Are we expecting him at all? Because I
We're
haven't
gonna
heard any
sell
reports.
already that he already had the halfway, sore throat, and now he just took like 3 spikes to the throat, 3 chops to the throat, 3 drops to the throat. So he's not gonna be able to talk. 100%. I think this is they only had him around while the Screen Actors Guild was on strike. and everything. And this is how we write him off without making it a big hullabaloo of John Cena's retired, because in pro wrestling, never say never.
Yeah.
Could he show up in 2 weeks? Sure. Does he show up this week? I don't think so.
No, I think he's going to be out. And again, I just don't know if I see the value of angles with John. John Cena comes back and picks a fight with A-Town, picks a fight with someone else, Braun Breaker. You just assume that at this point he's going to lose. And I don't know if it really does anything for me anymore.
The whole theory about him, how he hasn't had a TV victory in 5-6 years, like, do you get him that, or does he do a better service looking up at the lights to a guy like Solo Sikoa, to a guy like Austin Theory, to a guy Grayson Waller, etc.? Cena looks like the guy that's going to do right by the business, and I think at this point his best benefit is looking up at the lights of taking that L. You still get to say, I beat John Cena.
Yeah, I think it wears thin for me, though. Eventually, it's like, you're just beating the old guy, right? Like, put him out of his misery. We've seen it with UFC fighters, boxers, of like, they're past their prime. They just keep taking out.
Yeah, but has Cena earned that point to be at an old yeller versus he's Super Cena? Do.
Well, could he come back stronger?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Could he come back stronger? And a lot of people are petitioning for him to get one more title because of Ric Flair going to AEW.
No.
Shock the world.
No. I
Even
say no. I don't know how you feel. I say no.
No, I honestly think that we're kind of like, unless you have Cena win some or get a couple pieces of the pie here, that, we're all going to go hungry because nobody really takes it seriously.
Does anything with Cena right now seem like it warrants a build, it fits a build or anything, or is it just do?
Well, I mean, they always kind of have that angle for him. Like, they bring him in and they've had him kind of work these angles, right? It was not just a one-off. He was getting beat up by the bloodline. He was getting in there. So people still pop for it. So maybe there is more value.
Because
but I think he's got to be more flexible. He's got to take a win once in a while.
Speaking of taking a win, or at least a clean win.
Yeah, LA Knight gets put down by the tribal chief. Roman's still the champion. And again, I think this is one of those things that kind of left the show feeling a little, okay.
Can we admit, as a wrestling fandom, that Roman Reigns winning by bloodline interference, by not even exactly by disqualification, by at least interference, has become passé, has become the unfortunate norm? Really, you disagree?
I don't think it's passé. I think it's exactly what I expect out of him. Like, what is he? If Roman Reigns wins his matches clean without bullshit, then he's just a good wrestler, and that's a good guy.
But that's what the fuck he is, though. Like, if I'm supposed to be invested in him being the tribal chief, I should at least see him once in a while be the dominant guy. I get maybe if he does it against LA Knight, it dampens LA Knight, but it's been so many times at this point that we don't see Roman Reigns laying the smack it down, to quote his cousin.
I think the argument there is
like,
he is a physically in the ring. He does what he does, and the angles where somebody gets screwed or screwing a baby face. I mean, to me, it's my expectation. I'm not passé with it. The next guy who's a heel
would that match not be better if it was Roman Reigns and he's taking LA Knight to the edge and he hits him with a spear and he still won't fucking go down? So he hits him with another spear and he still won't go down. He hits him with a Superman punch. He pops up and yells out yeah and everything. And then you turn around and you hit him with another Superman punch or another spear or whatever the fuck. And that's what puts him down versus like, we cheat. That's what we do in every match. We've done that.
No, I expect them
4 months. We cheat for everything.
I expect the bad guys to cheat. I expect the bad guys to be underhanded. I expect them to use the numbers advantage that they have. I expect them to use their minions. What's the point of them having minions if they're not going to
But
utilize?
so if you don't expect Jordan to dominate, to be the GOAT,
He's not
to
a bad
dominate
guy.
the game
That's not a
every
fair
now and then, or
comparable.
you just keep
If it
expect him
was
to keep kicking
heel
out the
Michael
fucking
Jordan,
champion?
I would expect elbows and go into the hole and dirty fouls. If he is the villain, if he's the Dennis Rodman that's going to break the rules, if he's the Ron Artest, that are going to bend the rules, yeah, that's what I expect.
Yeah,
But
but
if
he's
from your
Jordan.
baby
If he's
face,
the GOAT,
from
you
your
expect him
hero,
to drive through the lane. You expect him to eat that shit and still come out on the other side instead of
but he
I
does.
gotta what everybody says with LeBron James of he flops, he takes this, he takes that, and everything. You don't want that if Roman Reigns is supposed to be the dominant champion.
But again, you cannot, you physically can't beat him down. No one's been able to get a pin on him prior to any of the change. And yeah, he gets out of situations with every means possible, as I expect him to do. That's what builds a villain. I don't expect the Joker to rob the bank with balloon animals.
But
is it
that it's happened so many times in a row that you haven't had that dominant Roman win yet? Like, you still want that dominant Roman win. If you didn't like Jordan, if you didn't like Kobe, whatever, if you still expected them to turn around and put up 60 in the game out the fucking nowhere. You expect that dominant win randomly.
Yeah, but no, I think at the end of the day, again, it's a hard comparable because you're not dealing with baby faces versus bad guys. In it with a Jordan or a Kobe, I don't think that makes sense. But at the end of the day, I believe that with Roman, he's the heel guy. I used the example yesterday of Bobby Heenan cheated for 40 years. He didn't just show up one day and do good stuff. He was always meddlesome. The bad guys are the bad guys. I expect them to fuck around. I expect them to get in there. And again, you get that moral victory for the.
But when you tell me you're the GOAT and the GOAT constantly needs underhanded tactics to win, maybe it gets a little sus.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, he wins. That's all that matters is the win goes on the paper. It doesn't matter how you get the W. You get the W, and he's a dominant heel champion that nobody can crack the code of. You can't get past the tribe. You can't get past him. You can't get past Paul. And every time you think you might, there is always a contingency plan. That makes him dominant as a professional wrestling champion, period. I think what you're speaking to is more of a duration issue that we've seen it so many times. Now it's a bit of an
issue. That's to me, I think that's becoming the issue of now he's up there in the Hogan, the Brunos. He's in that legendary air. He's out there. So what we need a dominant win, even if it's just you put him against somebody and he just smashes them.
But then if you flip this, again, you build up a pay-per-view with a guy, then you just smash him. What I think
WrestleMania 38 or so, where he sat there and had Daniel Bryan and Edge, and he sat there and I'm gonna smash you, I'm gonna stack you, and I'm gonna pin you.
There's your dominant win.
Think less of Daniel Bryan or Edge coming out of that. I feel
maybe they're both in another company now, not being utilized.
They went to the senior citizen home.
But at the end of the day, Nick, I think that both guys. I think that with Roman, that's the expectation. I need a hero to overcome this. I think looking back through everything, have we seen it a lot? For sure, but I don't expect him. I expect the eye gouging and the finger poking from the bad guys. I always expected the heels to be heelish. They don't just tonight I'm not going to be.
But no, does Thanos seem that impressive if he's sitting there and always has to get the fucking sneak attack on the fucking Avengers and everything like that, versus he just smashes them. And then they have to fight from underneath. Like, it's a heel on a babyface. If I make you have to work from underneath and I don't have to use my outside extremities and everything, if I get even pissed off at Jimmy Uso for interfering and trying to take this away from me.
I would not.
You gotta have them huevos.
So after 4 years, you can't break character like that, where he's just like, I don't want to cheat to win. I would say there's a little bit of repetition in how the cheating plays out. Very cookie cutter of just send another guy to the ring. But I fully expect the heel to cheat forever. People get mad about the heel cheating. And I think that's one of the issues that AEW is having is the bad guys have to be bad guys and the good guys have to be good guys. And if you don't have that, you don't have a compelling story to keep people paying attention.
I'll give you that. I just still at times, I guess I want, if he's supposed to be the king, sometimes the lion just fucking comes off the mountain and just fucking rips a motherfucker apart.
The last thing I'll say to that'd be like going to a Hulk Hogan match and expecting him not to do the Hulk up, the leg drop.
Well, that's
No,
fucking
that's the
apples to
babyface
pears
side.
here.
No, but that's the babyface side to Roman. You have that expectation that Hogan's gonna do Hogan. He didn't just show up one night and do something different. When
No,
he did, it was a heel
I'd
turn.
take it to Triple H. You at times he had the corporation, or even Dwayne. Dwayne had the corporation around him and everything like that. But at times he would have a match, right? But he would have a match so he'd blow the fucking doors down, even if he cheated on the back end. But it's still, you get what I'm saying though, to where he would blow the fucking doors down and have a great match instead of it's literally we're setting up
when they were
cheat spots for the fucking this, that, and the third.
But I would argue when they were in the corporation and those things, that's when you saw, the other people getting involved, the cheating, the ruses, the give my title back. I didn't really lose it. There's, as long as you're a heel, you're going to find heel ways to get W's. And that's my take on it. It's just when they go babyface, they change up their style. But as long as you're a heel, you got to be a heel.
I still think we're in mid chapter here for the bloodline because we've still got other people who might be showing up here.
Well, I'm really curious. They got to do something. They really got to do something to make this matter.
You need some Febreze, some Airwick, something to fucking freshen up that shit.
Yeah, I think just feeding them baby faces. I'm not even sure that I'm okay with them being done with LA Knight. I'd like LA Knight to come back and have an issue with Jimmy being involved and find a way back into the ring with Roman.
Does that not feel mid-card? When do you set it up?
I mean, I'd be okay if it was Survivor Series. I'm okay with that completely. Now, we know the rumors, but if it was instant, let's go. Do it again. Let's go.
Fair enough. I'll give you that, but so if then LA Knight takes 2 L's back to back,
he's in trouble, so they better have a plan.
Yeah. Well, going back to Crown Jewel, Drew McIntyre's taking nothing but L's to the face here.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're going to do with Drew McIntyre at this point. I have no idea. You need to make him hard shift and go.
He's got to snap. He's got to go full heel.
Yeah, and the hinting that he might join the Judgment Day is a weird one altogether. But yes. We will see.
Right.
All right. Well, after all of that, folks, make sure you get in this chat. Up next, we are going to hit Big Nick with some rapid fire questions, some random factoids and whatever you want to ask about wrestling wise or other. I'll give you a couple seconds. If you got a question for Big Nick, let us know. I
will start off by saying I like drinking whiskey. My beard smells like rich mahogany. We're just going to get out in front of these weird questions already.
Your beard smells like a deep wood, eh?
Yeah, 60% of the time it works, 90% of the time.
There you go. But something fun and random we like to do on these shows just to kind of break it up. But KJ is wrong. All right, Chair.
Yes.
That's it. All I can do is give you my 2 cents.
Why do you hate stairs?
Well, let's go.
Because they're not an escalator. I don't know.
Why do you hate stairs? Why do you hate the usage of stairs?
I don't hate the usage of stairs. I guess I just hate that they're an escalator and I have to use my legs to move. I don't know. Thoughts on the whole debate about the number of title defenses as a champion? Ooh, spicy meatball. It's so weird because I feel like if you go into like Hogan and everything, like they're counting house shows, they're counting everything. Like this man defended the world heavyweight title at a gas station. Like it. I do get that it makes a bit of a reference, but at the same time, do you judge a challenge? I know, fucking
rapid fire, dude.
All right. Deep philosophical thoughts. Bills win easily. Bills win. I'll stay by 3 just for the sake of DeMar Hamlin, just to be poetic. I think it's probably more than that.
They lose 35-27.
You will know who will be here on Monday Night Raw.
It's just very predictable. I agree with the predictable part of it. It's very cookie cutter. We'll give you that. All right. Well, that was sort of rapid fire questions. It was
I'm sorry,
a couple long-winded ones.
I caught up.
We know keeping it short and sweet with my guys is a little tricky sometimes.
Finally, the Commanders won a damn game after 5 losses. Do you think B-Fab with Bobby and the Street Profits will be good fit if it officially happens?
I think so. See what you can do. Why not?
Sure.
But there we go, folks. That is the one. But that is the dirt sheet. You good?
All right. No, I'm caught up.
That's the dirt sheet debate today, folks. We will be back next week with another one of these. Feel free to send us your thoughts. Make sure you comment below, and we're looking for hot topics all week long. Next week I'll be on the hot seat and I'll try to answer more than 3 questions, but we will keep rolling along. We are back tonight with Anthony and Luna. They're going to watch the Fish Market Street fight between the Dudleys and Curryman and Shark Boy. Yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be fun. And then we're back for Raw and NXT, Dynamite, and all the wrestling all week long. Make sure you get in that chat. Make sure you let your friends know. Share our link. Be a part of that. Good times, Big Nick.
Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is all authentic. When you're talking about the wrestling, but that for life with it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you later. And on the flip side, as always.